Hi guys, it's Erin from Ginger Florals. Today I want to talk to you about Amaryllis, one of my absolute favorite bulbs of all seasons, but definitely the best for the winter season. We're going to talk about how and when to plant them, where their hardiness zones are, and what your options are over keeping them over so that you can save them for the following year. And one more tip that I learned that seems to be absolutely really cool. That I learned recently that I tried, and I will show you what that looks like. But to start this, I got to tell you, I filmed this video a couple weeks ago. Something went wrong with my mic, and I couldn't actually do anything with the video that I got. So I will show you shots of what we did a couple weeks ago along with this, so I don't have to repeat it. So what I did last time was we took the Amaryllis out of dormancy that I had put in there with you guys a couple of months ago, potted up some brand new Amaryllis, and tried that new technique that I was telling you about that I'll talk you through. But like I said, I didn't have any audio, so we're gonna just talk through all that stuff, and then I'll show you how I plant these. I got a couple of 3 more kits so that I could show you. I love Amaryllis. I'm never gonna say no about buying kits. And I like these pots. They were kind of pretty. So that's what the plan is today. So first, a little bit of information about Amaryllis. These are technically zones 8 through 11, which in my case, I'm a zone 8B, so on paper we could overwinter them. But the problem here in my Pacific Northwest zone 8B is that the temperature would probably be fine, but they don't like to get super wet. They have a tendency to rot. And I don't know if you can see out there, but we get a lot of rain. We're about to get another 2.5 inches of rain. So I've never actually kept them in the ground and just left them there. I just don't trust it. And to be honest, I like to bring them in the house in the winter. So I don't do that. But if you live in the zones 8 through 11 and you're relatively dry, you can absolutely put these into your garden after they've grown for the winter, and then have flowers throughout the year. They will not rebloom in the winter time. They'll shift their bloom cycle to match your climate, but it is an option for you if you live in one of those climates. So dormancy for Amaryllis. It needs to take at least a 2 to 3 month process to do. So last year I took my Amaryllis that I bloomed for Christmas. I kept them in the house as just a house plant. They're really pretty strappy leaves until end of May. And then in a video, we took them outside, and I took a couple and left them in their pots, put them outside to absorb sun. And I also planted a couple in the garden, which was really cool. I haven't actually done that before, but it worked out really well. So they sat there all summer absorbing as much sun and energy as they could throughout the season. And then at the beginning of September 1st actually, I took all of those Amaryllis, and I dug them up, potted them up, did not water them or anything, and put them in our flower cooler. Well, it stays between 50 and 60 degrees usually. I put them all in there with no lights, no water, no nothing, and forced them into dormancy. Now, during dormancy, it's not just that your plant goes to sleep, the leaves all die, which they do, but it is also the time that the bulb needs to create the new flower inside of the bulb. So while everything looks like it's just sitting there, chilling and just being cold, it's actually doing a lot of work inside. So that takes between 2 to 3 months, err on the side of 3. I pulled out the first section of them on November 1st, so a couple of months. I also left a couple of them in the cooler, and I'll pull them out in the middle of December so that I can have some flowers later on in the winter when nothing is blooming. So they were in the cooler. I pulled them all out. Like I said, I left the 2, and then I just repotted them. Same way I would for any brand new one. I just took all the all the dirt off, repotted them in fresh soil, and watered them and put them in the house. Um, they're doing good. Nothing is really sprouted yet. It usually takes a couple, 2 to 3 weeks for any sprouting to happen, and then it can take 5 weeks or longer before you ever get a bloom stalk from an amaryllis bulb. So I'm keeping an eye on those, keeping them going, and then we'll see in the near future, hopefully, what they look like. It's been just about 2 weeks, almost exactly 2 weeks since I did that. So I didn't expect anything. So, like I said, that's overwintering. It's a really simple process. I need to set a timer or a reminder on my phone so that I remember to go out and do the things that I need to do, because it's several months in between each step. So after I repotted those ones, I had 6 more bulbs that I had ordered in that are just beautiful, and I'll put pictures of what the blooms should look like. They were big, gorgeous blooms from Color Blends, I believe. And those ones I just potted up normal. 3 of them I potted up normal. The other 3, I did this really cool experiment that I had seen somebody else do, and I thought I'd give it a shot. There was a university study done, I think in Pennsylvania, I could be wrong about that, to see what could possibly make your bulbs sprout faster. So what this study said was to take an amaryllis bulb and soak the roots for 12 to 24 hours. This one doesn't really have roots, so I couldn't do it on this one anyways. But the other ones that I did a couple weeks ago definitely had roots. Soak the roots. You just fill up a glass or a vase to just underneath of the bulb and set this on top of the jar or the glass or whatever, and let the roots just sit in the water for, like I said, 12 to 24 hours. You don't really want to go further than that necessarily, because it could start to rot your roots, and you don't want that to happen. But you definitely need at least 12 hours for it to be effective. Now, I did that, and it was so cool. So the 3 that I did that with, I'll show you at the end of the video. But those guys have already got bloom spikes that are this tall. The other 3 that I potted up like normal, they haven't sprouted at all. I think one is just barely starting to break out a little bit. But the other 3, I'm not kidding, I have 2 or 3 bloom stalks on each of them, and they're at least 6 or 8 inches tall already, and it's only been 2 weeks. It's the coolest thing. So I would recommend, if you're in a hurry, if you're starting this late, like these, I'm starting pretty late, and you want to have blooms by Christmas, give that a try. Soak the roots in just, lukewarm water, nothing hot, nothing cold, for 12 to 24 hours. Pot them up, and just go with it and see what happens. I was pretty amazed at the difference between the 2, how fast those came up, and the other ones, like I said, they haven't even really sprouted. They will, I have no doubt. But it's been 2 weeks, and that's usually how long it takes for them to start to come up, not within a couple of days and already be as tall as they are. It's so exciting. It's 2 weeks from Thanksgiving. We'll probably actually have amaryllis blooms on Thanksgiving, and I wasn't expecting to see those really until Christmas or maybe after. So it's pretty cool. Okay, now the last thing I want to do is walk you guys through how I pot them up. And there's a couple of tips and a couple of things to know if you've never grown amaryllis, that you do need to know about how to grow them, how to pot them, and how to grow them. So I'll walk you through that. So what I bought, like I said, I bought a kit from my local grocery store. They were a really good price, actually, for the pot and the bulb. And these guys, they always come with this little cocoa coir puck that you can soak in water, and it'll become the soil, the medium. But I don't use these if I can help it. This one I could have soaked. Most of the time at the grocery store, if you're getting a red amaryllis, it's a red lion variety. And they're beautiful. They're classic. They're single flowers, and they're just gorgeous. And that's what these all are. The couple different varieties that I got for the other that I got from Color Blends that I already potted up. There's a double white, just, it looks amazing. I'll put the name and a picture of it up. They're just so beautiful, but it's a double flower. So the petals, there's multiple, and it's just so full. I can't wait. And then the other one is another red one. Again, I'll put the name and a picture, but it's a double red, and it's not a red line because these are single, but it's just beautiful. And the bulbs were so big that I expect to get between, well, 3 to 5 bloom spikes. A smaller bulb like this one, I'll get 1, maybe 2 bloom spikes out of the, well, 2, probably 2 bloom spikes out of this bulb. But the bigger they are, the more blooms you can get out of them. So now the tips and tricks on how to plant amaryllis. So what I'm going to do is just fill the pot. Let's see. The goal is to have this shoulder bit of the amaryllis right at the top of the pot. So I need to put a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that. But the goal, I need a little bit more. The thing about amaryllis is that you don't want any moisture or dirt to get stuck in the inside of the rings where the bloom's going to come out, because it'll hold on to it and it can rot. So I fill this up fairly high. Set this bulb in there. You want it to have an inch, no more than an inch around from the bulb to the edge of the pot. They like to be pretty constricted. They prefer to be tight. You can get a bigger size pot and put all of them together, and it's a really beautiful thing. They really don't mind being in tight quarters. So this, I'm going to put a little bit more. I want my shoulder to be right about the top of the planter. And then just fill up the pot. It doesn't have to be, you want it to hold the bulb in place as much as you can. But these guys definitely prefer, they do benefit from staking. They will get, you've seen the bulb, and there's very little roots. So by the time this spikes up and blooms, it'll be top heavy and want to fall over. So I have these little stakes. See, this is, I'm gonna put a little bit more. I have these little stakes that I use to put in there. They go all the way down, and these loops, the bloom spike, I'll weave it into here as it grows, and then that will hold it up as best it can. I've done lots of different things, put moss and whatnot around the bulb, put moss, you can put branches, you can make a network of branches to hold your bulbs up. I've seen all kinds of different beautiful displays. And I probably will get some moss to cover this dirt later. I don't have any on me, so I won't do that today, but this is the gist of it. And it needs to be, I leave myself a little bit of lip so that when I water it, it's no big deal. It won't flow out of there or anything. At this point, you want to water it in. It's just going to be one good soak around the bulb. And if you get these before there's any bloom spike, you can see this one has a little bit of a bloom spike there. If you get these before that's even happened, you'll water it once and then don't water it again until you see this growth. The bulbs that I have inside, they're in that condition. They haven't started yet. But even once they get going, I don't water these more than once a week, and it's sparingly. These guys really don't need a lot of moisture to be perfectly happy. I don't know if you've seen, you can buy them, amaryllis bulbs in like a wax casing where there's no water, there's no nothing, but they still grow and bloom. It's amazing. Amaryllis are pretty crazy, cool flowers. So, like I said, I will water these in just once. And be mindful that this pot doesn't have any holes, so it's really important not to overwater. And then just wait for them to grow. You want to put them somewhere warm to start, And then once they get up and growing, then you can move it somewhere cooler in your house that still gets plenty of light, and the blooms will last longer if they're put somewhere cooler. Okay, like I said, I'm just gonna finish potting these up, and then I'll show you what the bulbs look like that we started a couple weeks ago. It's really cool. I really, really hope that you give that soaking the roots a try. All right, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something, and I really hope that you try soaking your bulbs. See how fast you can get them to grow. Those little kits that you get, generally, a lot of times you can peek inside and see if the bulbs have roots already, or if you get them at a garden center rather than your grocery store, you can just buy the bulb. And you'll definitely be able to tell. But give that a try. It's really cool. I'll show you again, like I said, before we leave. I'll show you at the end of this video. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. I love this time of year. It's getting into the holidays, getting different kinds of flowers and enjoying different kinds of crafts. The season is definitely at an end. It's beautiful at the moment, but it was just raining like crazy a little bit ago. I just love this time of year. Getting into the holidays, all the festive crafts and projects and family time, it's just the best. So I hope, like I said, that you give this a try, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. These are the bulbs that I pre-soaked. Isn't that crazy? So cool.